Chosen, stop for a moment. Stop scrolling. Stop distracting yourself. You are not here by chance. Everything in your life has brought you to this moment. Every challenge, every doubt, every unexpected situation has been carefully orchestrated for you to be standing in front of this message right now. And if you've made it this far, know this: it's not a mistake. There are signs that identify the chosen ones, and many carry these signs in their own hands. Perhaps you've already noticed the mark of the letter M engraved on their palm, the presence of a crescent moon drawn in its lines. These are small details that go unnoticed by many, but for those who have eyes to see, they are symbols of something much greater. You can feel it inside you. Something always told you that your life wouldn't be ordinary, that you weren't meant to follow the path that everyone else does. And now, your intuition has been confirmed. Because the struggle, the uncertainty, the weight of worries, all that is about to give way to a new reality. A reality of abundance, clarity, and purpose. Don't ignore this sign. What you're about to discover could be the start of the biggest transformation of your life. Today, I'm not going to talk about excessive effort, endless sacrifices, or the need to fit in with what the world imposes. What I'm about to reveal goes far beyond that. You're not here just to have a job, get a paycheck, or earn a title. You were chosen for something much greater. Most people spend their lives chasing something, a position, a status, a stability that never seems to be enough. They struggle to fit into a system that wasn't made for them. But you, chosen one, have been called to a different path. Your destiny has already been mapped out. You weren't created to follow the crowd, but to be a point of reference, someone who lights the way for others. You feel it, don't you? That feeling that your life has a greater meaning, that restlessness that makes you question whether you were really born to follow the rules of this world. The answer is clear: no. You were born for a purpose that only you can fulfill, and what you're about to discover will change the way you see your life forever. Now, do 3 things to seal this word in your life. Hit the like button. This helps us take this message to more people who need to hear it. Subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 40,000 subscribers, and each new one strengthens this mission. Comment on the number 99. This number will send a powerful signal to the universe, amplifying the energy of this message. And remember, if you really are a chosen one, you will watch this video to the end, because those who are called to something greater feel the truth when they hear it. Now, let's move on to the first revelation: the error of the search mentality and the need to adopt the discovery mentality. Most people spend their lives searching for something: a job, a better salary, a position that brings security. But that security always seems to slip through their fingers. They run around endlessly, trying to find a place in the world, like pieces of a puzzle that never quite fit together. But you, chosen one, were not born for this endless race. If you bear the mark of the letter M or the crescent moon on your hand, know that God has set you apart for something greater. You are not here to seek, but to find. When God says don't look for work, He's not telling you to stand still or be inactive. He's telling you to stop chasing after what isn't yours. Many people confuse work with identity. They believe that their value lies in the position they hold, in what they do to survive. But God tells you, you are not your job, you are your purpose. And that purpose is unique, just like the signs He has left for you. God's plan for your life was already written before you were born. It connects with your talents, your passions, your soul. Discovering this purpose means abandoning the search mentality and embracing the discovery mentality. Seekers are always running, overwhelmed by the fear of not having enough. But those who discover stop, listen, and let themselves be guided. Looking for a job means trying to fit into a system that often doesn't respect who you really are. Discovering your purpose, on the other hand, means aligning yourself with what God has already prepared for you. The answers are not out there, they are within you. You haven't been left without direction. God has already given you signs. They've always been there, all around you, but perhaps you haven't yet learned to recognize them. What makes you feel alive? What fills you with enthusiasm? These are not just preferences or hobbies, they are indications of your calling. Many people go through life ignoring these signs, trapped in a system that teaches them to seek stability rather than purpose. But the chosen ones feel this restlessness within themselves. What do you do easily? What comes naturally to you? Your gifts are no accident. They are divine tools for your mission. And more than that, God will never ask you to force a path that is not yours. When you are aligned with your purpose, the right doors open, effortlessly. This doesn't mean that everything will be easy, but it does mean that you will feel peace and conviction as you walk in the right direction. Discovering your purpose isn't about having all the answers at once. It's about trusting the process and allowing God to guide you step by step. Every intuition, every encounter, every opportunity, everything is part of a bigger plan that is revealing itself to you. Now that you understand this, a new question arises. Is the stability that the world preaches so much really what will bring you security? The world teaches us to seek stability, a secure job, a fixed salary, a predictable plan. But what few people realize is that this stability is often a trap. People spend their lives clinging to a system that promises security, but actually limits their dreams and their true essence. They believe that peace of mind comes from a signed contract and a monthly deposit in their bank account. But deep down, they feel that something is missing. But God didn't create you to live in fear of tomorrow. You weren't born to survive, but to flourish. The chosen don't follow the path of the crowd. They don't fit into the rules created by men because they carry within them a higher calling. The world teaches you that you have to fight to succeed, that you have to sacrifice your peace to achieve your goals. But God teaches you something different. I am your shepherd. You will lack nothing. This means that when you walk in the purpose God has set for you, you don't have to chase after what isn't yours. Abundance doesn't come from human effort, but from obedience to the divine plan. And when you align yourself with this plan, doors open, opportunities arise, and everything you need arrives at the right time. So don't get caught up in the illusion that a job or a salary defines your life. Your value is not in your job. Your value lies in the purpose to which God has called you. The world measures wealth by numbers. How much money is in the bank account, how big the house is, how many possessions have been accumulated. But God's abundance goes far beyond that. Money is limited. It comes and goes depending on time, effort, and circumstances. But God's abundance is inexhaustible. It is not limited to material goods, but manifests itself in peace, opportunities, wisdom, relationships, and fullness. Imagine a well of water. Money is like a bucket that you constantly fill and empty, always afraid that it will run out. But God's abundance is like a spring that never runs dry. No matter how much you drink, it keeps flowing. When you walk in line with God's plan, provision is not based on your effort, but on your trust. You don't have to chase abundance. When you are in the right purpose, abundance comes to you. And it's not about having more money, it's about living without the constant worry of not having enough. God doesn't want you to live imprisoned by the fear of scarcity. He wants you to trust that everything you need will be provided at the right time. The question is not how much you have, but how you live. Now, an essential point arises. How do you know what your true purpose is? How do you discern God's voice amidst the noise of the world? In the next step, you'll understand how to hear God's voice and connect with your spiritual purpose. God speaks to you all the time, but the question is, are you listening? Often God's voice doesn't come in a grand or obvious way. It manifests itself in subtle details, in intuitions and signs that go unnoticed by those who are distracted. The hustle and bustle of the world makes many deaf to this voice. The pressure of routine, fear of the future, the incessant search for security. All this creates noise and prevents the divine message from being heard. But those who stop to listen can see something that others can't. God already has all the answers. The problem isn't that God doesn't speak, it's that most people don't know how to silence the world in order to listen. If you want to connect with your true purpose, you need to learn how to create that space. Disconnect from the noise outside and turn inwards. God speaks through your gifts, your deepest desires, the things that make your heart vibrate. What gives you peace and fills you with purpose is no coincidence, it's a calling. And when you learn to listen, your journey becomes clearer. Answers that seem distant begin to appear naturally. So start now. Take some time to reflect, to pray, to truly connect with that voice that has been trying to guide you for a long time. Discovering your purpose is not something abstract. The signs are already there. You just need to learn to observe them. One of the most effective ways to identify your calling is to ask yourself the right questions. Reflect on each one sincerely. What makes you feel alive? What awakens passion within you? What makes you forget about time while you're doing it? These are not just preferences, they are indications of what God has put in you. What do you do easily? What seems difficult to others but comes naturally to you is no accident. It is a divine gift that has been placed in your hands for a greater purpose. When do you feel most connected to God? The moments when you feel peace, purpose, and fulfillment don't happen by chance. They are clear signs that you are on the right path. What do people often say? You do well. Often, others see things in us that we can't see on our own. What if people told you that you do particularly well? This could be an important clue. If money were no object, what would you dedicate your life to doing? Your purpose is not linked to money or status, but to what makes you feel complete. If financial worries didn't exist, what would your mission be? These questions are not just an exercise. They are gateways to a profound discovery of who you really are and what God wants for your life. Now that you are learning to listen to God's voice, there is a great danger that can lead you away from your purpose, the need to fit into a system that was never made for you. In the next step, you will understand the danger of trying to adapt to the world when, in fact, you have been called to transform it. From an early age, we are taught to fit in. Society imposes rules, expectations, and predefined paths. You need to study, get a stable job, follow a script that has been created for the majority. But what if that's not your path? What if you've been called to something different? The chosen ones never fit in completely. There's always a feeling that something doesn't make sense, that there's something bigger waiting to be discovered. And the truth is that God didn't create you to conform, but to transform. Trying to fit in with what the world imposes means giving up your true essence. It means stifling the call that God has placed within you. When you stop trying to fit in and start accepting who you really are, something powerful happens. You free yourself from the expectations of others. You stop living in fear of judgment and start walking with purpose. Your mission is not to be accepted by the world. Your mission is to follow the path that God has laid out for you. And when you do that, answers begin to emerge, the right doors open, and clarity takes the place of doubt. So stop trying to fit in where you don't belong. Many people live stuck in a meaningless routine, following a path that wasn't made for them. But when you discover and accept God's purpose for your life, everything changes. Living in alignment with God means feeling peace on your journey, even if you don't know all the details of the future. It means having clarity about your decisions, because they are not guided by fear, but by faith. It means no longer living in scarcity, but in the certainty that everything you need will be provided at the right time. This doesn't mean that life will always be easy, but it does mean that even in the challenges, you will know that you are on the right path. When you walk in the purpose that God has determined for you, the feeling of heaviness and uncertainty disappears. You feel that you are finally where you are supposed to be. And now that you know this, the most important question of all arises: what are you going to do with this knowledge? Now that you've understood that God has already laid out a plan for your life, an essential question arises: what are you going to do with this knowledge? Knowing that you have a purpose is only the first step, but the real transformation happens when you decide to act. Many people spend their whole lives waiting for the right moment, waiting for an even clearer sign, waiting to feel totally ready before taking the first step. But the truth is that the right time is now. God didn't reveal this message to you by chance. He didn't put this restlessness in your heart for no reason. You already have everything you need to get started. The call has been made. The question now is, are you willing to answer it? Perhaps, until now, you have felt stuck, without direction. Perhaps you've tried to fit into the world, but realized that this has only brought frustration and emptiness. Now you understand why. You were never meant to fit in, but to stand out. You weren't created to follow human patterns, but to follow the divine plan. So ask yourself, what is the first step I can take today to align myself with God's plan? What do I need to leave behind to follow my true mission? How can I use my gifts to impact the world around me? And more than that, share your reflections in the comments. Your journey can inspire others who are going through the same process. Often, a simple word can be the signal someone needs to take the next step. The world is full of lost people, searching for answers, trying to understand why their lives seem meaningless. And perhaps without realizing it, you are exactly what they need to wake up. Perhaps your story, your journey, your learning will be the key that opens the eyes of other chosen ones who have yet to understand who they really are. So tell us, what does trusting in God's purpose mean to you? If you've come this far, it means that this message had a purpose for you. Nothing happens by chance. Every word that has touched your heart has been a reminder of what God has already put inside you. Now it's your turn to act. If that message made sense, don't just keep it to yourself. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this truth. You can be God's instrument for transforming someone else's life. Now, do 3 things to seal this word in your life. Hit the like button. This helps us take this message to more people who need to hear it. Subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 40,000 subscribers, and each new one strengthens this mission. Comment on the number 99. This number will send a powerful signal to the universe, amplifying the energy of this message. And remember, if you really are a chosen one, you will watch this video to the end, because those who are called to something greater feel the truth when they hear it. The time for waiting is over. Your journey begins now. Stand up, accept the call, and walk with confidence, because what is in store for you goes beyond what any human mind can comprehend. See you in the next video.